this past month, I feel like I tripped into a portal of deep, deep spiritual exploration, which was exactly what my soul was calling for. It all started with a Nordic runes reading that opened the doors wide open to participating in so many beautiful experiences where my personal fear of death, and I'd rather say my terror of death, was shown to me in terms of how it has gripped the life out of me. And I have a really fucking amazing life, okay? It's not like I'm walking around depressed or anything like that. But what was astonishing to me is how unaware I was of the ways that my continued fear of losing someone I love, right? Of losing these beautiful experiences that I've manifested in my life, of losing anything that matters to me. All of that has kept me in this constant state of hypervigilance where my nervous system is just tightly wound up. And I will say that, I've actively worked with my nervous system for several years. So where I'm at today is not where I was like 5 years ago, which was really fucking intense. I mean, for the people that knew me back then, I was really freaking wound up. I was super prickly. Everything was just triggering. And even though I was super productive, I think that was a channel for me to be able to use all of that nervous energy into something that felt good. Where I'm at today is I've completely revamped my entire life so that I have ease in my days, so that I am basking in joy, so that I'm surrounded by beauty. And still, the effects of my fear of loss have been so strong that in this past month, they all came to the surface. And I was able to see how much I've been wearing like a corset of fear around my torso, because that's where it manifested. It was all like here and here, and just like somebody was just, and my throat. So if we look at what exists here, right? Your throat chakra, that's communication. That's speaking your truth. What exists here in your torso? Well, if we're staying with chakras, this is, right? I'm going to go all the way down to the root chakra, all the way here to my heart chakra. All of them have been impacted, whether it's walking through life with a sense of security and safety, whether it's being creative and sensual, whether it's opening myself up fully to receiving the love that's all around me. Every single one of these areas has been compromised because of my deep terror of loss. So it's hilarious that I wrote a book about this, right? And it's that saying that we often teach what we most need to learn. And, as much as I remember so clearly when I published my book, The Good Goodbye, in October of 2017, very quickly, my book gained interest in my community, and people were sharing it, and they were tagging me on posts where they're like, oh, somebody just had a loss in their family, talk to Gladys, read about Gladys's book, read all this. And I remember saying super distinctly, I don't want to be the death lady. That's not the route that I want to go. I was actually creating business programs and working with entrepreneurs to help them uncover what I call their love story in their business. So I wanted to stay on this track of productivity, because that's what I was familiar with. That's what had been my safe outlet for all of this energy within me that was completely connected to this terror of death. So fast forward, when was it? 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Almost 5 years later. I have learned that This is part of what I'm here to do. This is part of not part, it is my biggest path to walk is to dissolve these old belief systems around death, around my relationship to death and loss, to make room for a new kind of connection to myself. When I do experience loss of any kind, and to allow myself to receive the beauty that death brings. This was revealed to me some weeks ago in a ceremony I participated in where I was shown just how loved and supported I am by all my ancestors, my guides, human, non-human, spirit, living on earth. To be exactly where I'm at and to allow my own process to unfold, regardless of whether that process feels productive or not. And to really give myself permission to be gentle and to receive the gentleness and the love and the healing support that I have all around me. My fear of death is what has kept me from openly receiving all the beauty and abundance that's surrounding me, because I've constantly been waiting for the other shoe to drop. And when you're constantly waiting for the other shoe to drop, you can't receive fully. And I've received a lot. I mean, again, I have a beautiful life, but there's so much more that I've been resisting unconsciously because of these fears. So I'm going to stop here, but I want to just really emphasize that our joy in life doesn't come from just repeating mantras every day and keeping a gratitude journal. Those help. I believe the true joy and freedom that many of us, if not all of us, are seeking in this lifetime, at this time in history, can only come when we get to know what our relationship is to death and start to really get to the underbelly of our belief systems around it, how we've defended ourselves against it, and if we're willing to completely let that go so that we can create what I call a good goodbye to how we've previously related to death, and allow in a new definition that really embraces the truth of what death is. And in that, find that beauty, that abundance, that joy, that freedom. Because it's all on the other side of this one area that we have been taught to fear the most. So with that, I look forward to sharing more and starting to unpack this in a way that I can memorialize for me in those moments that I need to go back and remind myself, but also to give you a chance to be curious. Thank you for being on this journey with me.